Hello there, everyone. How you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Twitter be toxic lately, so be sure to not doom scroll if you've been doing so lately. And we've got a few stories for you today from r/entitled parents. If you enjoy, like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get started, shall we? For our first story, we've got entitled Kid Gets KO'd. So, I live on a ranch, and we own some cattle. Hay has been really expensive lately, so we needed to sell some cows to afford hay. We had a listing of Facebook Marketplace and some other places about cattle for sale. We had some cows ready for butcher, so we put them in another pen. A lady DMs us about it and asks if she can come to the property and take a look. We agreed on a time, and then discussed what type of cows we had. The day the lady was supposed to arrive, she seemed to be running late. We waited, and she did not show up. Later, she apologized for not showing up, and she asked if she could swing by the next day. I told her that I was going to be doing some busy work, but I'll probably be free later in the day. So, it was settled. Next day, I was running some hay over to our cows, and when I pulled into the driveway, her car was there. I get out, and I'm immediately met with,
"Where have you been?"
"Oh, you're here early," I said. "I was doing some stuff with the cows, but I've got some time to do this real quick." So I take her to the pen, and she looks in. She points to the other pen and says,
"Why are they separated? Shouldn't these guys be together?"
"Oh, no, we are butchering them this summer, so we put them in there so we can fatten them up a bit."
"Butcher? You torture these wonderful creatures?"
Now, I'm not one to judge someone who is against animal abuse. In fact, I am with them on that. Some of these big industries do treat their animals badly, and it is indeed a problem. I am not one to do that, however. Cows give us food, so I make sure that my cows are taken care of properly. But what is this lady expecting? I don't care if people like meat or don't, or eat it or not. I couldn't give two shits. But she came out to a ranch, to a cattle ranch no less. There's bound to be some cows headed for the butcher.
"Oh, ma'am, I assure you."
Oh wait, no, that was me. "Oh, ma'am, I assure you, these cows are treated like kings. I make sure their death is quick and painless. But these are the cows you're looking for." She just scoffed. I take her by the pen we were supposed to be looking at. "So how is this Karen an entitled parent?" Well, she had a kid in her car. She was buying him a cow as a pet. Oh boy. She had a small trailer, probably only big enough for one cow. At this point, she called him out of the car.
"So which one do you like?" "I like that one."
The kid had pointed to a calf. This calf was too young to be weaned, also known as taken from his mom, so he would have to be sold with his mom. "If you want that one, you're going to have to buy the Red Angus right there. That's his mom, and he's too young to leave her yet." The entitled parent responded with a disgusting look.
"So I have to buy both?"
"Yes, ma'am, but since she's a mom, she's very protective, so let's find another cow."
"But Mom, I want that one." "My baby wants that one. He's just so cute and small. I don't want to get anything too big."
I respond with, "Well, if that's the case, you should look for some miniature cows. I know some sellers, and I can get you their contact information."
"Yeah, but I'm already here,"
says the entitled parent. "Mommy, can I go pet the cow?" I respond with a quick, sharp, and loud, "No." And the entitled parent goes over me and says,
"Sure, sweetie. What What's the big deal? He just wants to pet the cow.
Rule number 1 with cattle. Be aware of your surroundings. If you see a cow with a calf and a mom is high-headed, do not go near it. This kid is too young to understand, but his mom is too freaking stupid to look out for her goddamn kid. Now, the mom of the calf this kid went to go pet is a total female dog, also known as a bitchy bitchy. She will not put up with anything. So the kid crawls under the panel, and he looked to be about 10 or so. Well, I had to try to go into the pen, but I needed a cattle prong. A cattle prong is just a long rod that delivers a light shock to the cattle. It's the equivalent of a shock collar to dogs, except it's just long so people can stay safe and keep their distance. Her son goes to touch the calf, and the mom is giving all the warnings to stay the frick away. He gets close to the calf, and it freaks out. The cow kicks to the side, not to the back like a horse. So the calf kicked this kid square in the side of the head. He fell over and started screaming, and so is his mom. I hate to say it, but it felt so good to see that entitled Karen see what happens when her dumbass doesn't listen to professionals. But now, with all that screaming, the rest of the cattle are wound up. I get my cattle prong, rush into the pen, and as the mom was about to start charging this poor kid, I start herding her away from him, and I get him out of the pen. I gave him back and told her to get the frick off my property. She started yelling at me, but I just tuned her out. I cannot stand people like that. Moral of the story: listen to the people who know what they were talking about. Okay? I just saw my entitled mother for the first time in 6 months. It's been 6 months since I, 18 male, moved out of my mom's house, and I haven't seen her or my stepdad since. I'm staying with my grandpa at the moment, and I'm doing an apprenticeship. I've been working and saving as much as I can. It's been a couple months since I saw any of my friends. My grandpa encouraged me to make plans with my band. I'm Ace Freshly in a Kiss tribute band. So we meet at my bassist's place to play today. Technically it's its parents' place since he still lives with them. And we played some music. We played our hearts out. And we sounded pretty good. No outfits or anything, just the 4 of us in our bassist's garage playing some of our favorite songs. People from the neighboring houses came and started to watch us. Everyone seemed to be having a pretty good time. We finished our last song and then started to screw around, playing bits and pieces of random songs. The crowd gradually dispersed and we packed up after a while. I was about to get in my car when my mom came up to me. She looked basically the same, maybe a little angrier. She said,
"I'll look past the fact that you left like you did. I'm just glad you finally decided to come home."
I asked what she was talking about, and she said,
"You're here. I've changed. Come on now, let's go."
I said no, and she started to scream her head off at me. People came out of their houses to see me backing up as she came towards me screaming. My bassist came out, and my mom backed up. She glared at me as she left. I thanked my bassist as he went back inside, and I left. I honestly wonder how she found me, but then I realized she lives down the street from my bassist's parents. I told my grandpa about it, and we had a good laugh. I can't believe that she expects me to shut up and go back there like nothing happened. Well, I'm not. And I hope that's the very last time I see her. I was forced to give all of my first month's salary to my well-to-do narc parents. For context, I'm a 25 female living in a different country than my parents. I live in an expensive city where I pay my own bills. I work and study full-time. I was recently promoted from being an intern to a full-time employee, and the first thing my dad says, "Oh, so you're giving us your first salary?" It was more telling than asking. All my life I've heard my dad say, "I'll die the day I have to take a single penny from you." Oh my God, the irony. Moreover, they are well-to-do. Anyway, knowing the narcissistic rage I'd face if I didn't heed them, I gave them all my salary and dug into my savings for expenses. I also just recently paid for a part of my siblings' 20-mile vacation when he visited me. And yet, they just go around telling people how I used them, only because I'm opinionated, like to be independent, and want to marry the man I have loved for 8 years as opposed to the man they would have arranged for me. It makes me so upset and angry. My parents are narcissists, so I've had my fair share of physical, emotional, and verbal abuse since my childhood. I was sent away to a boarding school in a different country as a means of punishment when I was 11 because I started acting out, lying to go hang out with my friends, more like it, due to physical and emotional abuse at home. So I basically grew up independently and learned everything on my own. I knew financial independence was my only ticket to freedom. By 18, I learned some skills, got part-time gigs. Then I did tons of internships, saved up, bought gifts for my family because it was expected of me. I love buying presents for my friends, though. At 22, I had to pursue a master's degree because there was a threat of an arranged marriage, and I felt like studying in a foreign university would buy me time and some physical distance. I knew my parents would use my financial means to control me, so I suggested taking a loan to pay for my education. My dad turned the house upside down and was seething with so much anger at the mere suggestion. Anyway, all while I'm studying full-time, I'm also working full-time to pay my bills. It was exhausting. My parents just piled on with nasty and hurtful comments every chance they got, because they felt like I was enjoying my life. I graduated at the top of my class, got a good job, and yet nothing makes them happy. All I hear is, "You are in this position only because I worked so hard to provide for you, and we gave birth to you, and you should respect us." And then I'm coerced into giving them my salary when I actually need it to sustain myself. On top of that, they treat me badly and say shit about me to their friends. I might not have minded giving them my salary, but for parents who never treated me like a human being and have so much pride, this infuriates me, and yet I feel helpless. Edit. Thank you to all of those who have been kind with their words and tips. I appreciate the differing views too. While most people are able to appreciate that I come from a different cultural, family as God in this culture, upbringing that causes me to spiral into self-doubt and extreme guilt in standing my ground, some can't seem to understand that no two situations of victims and narcs are the same. I believe in this. It is never the victim's fault. For years, to give in to what my body and brain have known. That's the thing about emotional abuse. It gets lodged as trauma so deep within our bodies that it takes a lot of work to get out of us. Thus, it doesn't matter that I'm in a different country. I had to give my parents the money at a time. They were to meet my partner's parents. For the first time, to finalize my wedding. I felt compelled to maintain the peace. The interjection of events surely plays into how much power I held. I don't paint myself as the naive victim and sulk either. I have worked towards my independence even while I was hurting. Somewhere along the way, I lost my sense of self. I am working on my mental health to regain my energy and power before I go to NC. I cannot fight with an empty tank. I've only recently begun learning and dealing with NPs and equipping myself with tools and info. I will get my happy ending eventually. But for right now, I just wanted to vent and allow myself time to fully understand my needs before I jump into anything. Well, good luck, OP. All the good vibes to you. And that's the end of today's video. Remember to like and subscribe. Be kind to those who deserve it, and don't take shit from those who don't. I'll see you later. Hasta la pasta.